Hi, I'm Shaina and you're watching Island Images. Today we're at Chamorro Village with Mr. George Francisco, a local bone carver who's going to show us how he translates the Chamorro culture into jewelry. Can you tell us what is a Sinahi?
Sinahi, it's basically the design of the crescent moon, the first moon. There's going to be nights where you go outside and there's no moon at all. And then, it take a few days and the crescent moon, the first moon that comes out, that is called a Sinahi. That's been called Sinahi since the beginning of time.
Would you say a lot of people carve storyboards onto the Sinahi?
Not really. When I first started this, I had done an event where there were 6 or 8 artists. And if you saw one, you would have seen all of them because they all have a simple Sinahi. There's no design on it. It's all the crescent moon. And even with the hooks that they carved, there were no designs on it. It was just a simple hook. So when I first started doing this, I did my first Sinahi, bone Sinahi, and I went through the whole 9 yards, tied and everything, hung it up in my room, in my living room, and every night when I'm watching TV, I'm looking at this thing and it's like there's something more to it. There's something more to it. So I took that piece back down, took off the rope, put it back on the table, and I started carving pictures on it. Okay, this is a double hook Sinahi. And the story behind this, in our culture, let's say the chief gets sick, he's ill, and he's in his dying bed. He has one son. The son don't necessarily be the next chief. The son is given the right to prove himself that he can become chief. In order to become chief, you have to know everything. The son's chief failed to prove himself. The next guy steps up, and one of the warriors. So in essence, this warrior becoming chief, he loves his piece. He don't want to lose it. So what happens is he makes it into a Sinahi. He gets it made into a Sinahi. So this identifies him as a warrior at one time, becoming chief. And that's the story I came up with.
This is actually really nice. You won't find many Sinahi. I don't know if you'll find any Sinahi like this.
This Sinahi has to identify our island, our culture. On this side is the warrior's band. On this side, the first band is the mountains throughout our island. The second band is the waves to identify the water surrounding the island. And this chief, he's overall. He's head of all those mountains. He's head of all the village. He's head of the waters.
What kind of images are you inspired to come up with?
The first image that comes to mind is he has to be a warrior. So what I do is I just mark it off. And that would be where the warriors band would go. There are people who are not really too hot about the Guam silk, but they're definitely into the laddie stone. So with that, I do the warrior band, and then I'll put the laddie stone right here.
Well, can you show us how to carve?
Okay, we use this is called a drum disc, and the drum disc basically it gives you that opportunity to cut it to shape it. Okay, we're gonna put the tribal band and the laddie stone on this one. Okay, so we already basically know where the design is gonna go. So now we're gonna do the first cut for the tribal band. The significance of the laddie stone to us, it's a symbol of the foundation for our culture.
Why is Sinahi important in Chamorro culture?
Okay, the Sinahi, the way it all breaks down is that we use the moon as a timeline. So the Sinahi is the crescent moon, the first moon, that is like the beginning. It's always the beginning. Now in our culture, the home builders, for example, when they're gonna build homes, the wood and all the trees that they cut for the home that they're gonna build is cut during the first moon, because it's believed that during that time, like the Ifit, for instance, you know how hard it is. Well, in the new moon, it's believed to be twice as hard. That's one of the significance of the Sinahi being worn by the chief, because he would be the first moon, and he would have to prove himself to be stronger overall. He would be the hardest.
Well, Mr. Francisco, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next Island Images. Adios, Guam.
Adios.